Apples, delicious for snacks, making apple pie, apple sauce, and hard apple cider. While hard cider production is still a niche market, the rise in U.S. sales is eye-opening. The top 10 alcoholic cider brands in the U.S. collectively grew by 62% in 2012, according to Impact Databank, which tracks statistics for wine, beer, and spirits industry. And Virginia farmers and cider makers are taking advantage of an opportunity to bring back this drink with a lot of history to it. Artisanal cideries throughout Virginia are producing ciders from dry to sweet, still, or sparkling. Thomas Jefferson's champagne-like cider made with Hughes crab apples was his table drink. Throughout the 19th century, crafting cider from cider apples was an integral part of every community.
Man, woman, and child, slave and free, everyone was drinking cider until it was gone, and then they were all waiting patiently for the next apple crop to come in. Brewing was not really a staple of Virginia cuisine for quite a while. And the beers that were made here were fruit beers, persimmon beer, spruce beer, things that we don't really associate with brewing today.
While hard cider has been mass-produced for years, more craft ciders are making their way back to consumers' tables. Courtney Maley started Blue Bee Cider in Richmond in 2010. When she opened her doors, there were only 2 cideries in Virginia. Today, there are 11, and the number is growing.
For most of that time, it has been mass-produced ciders that have been driving the growth, but Wall Street Journal has declared that mass-produced cider is starting to level, and craft cider, so the premium and super premium ciders, are really what are driving the future growth of the cider industry in the U.S. And that's what we make, our premium and super premium products.
Blue Bee Cider is the state's only urban cidery, but Maley expects more to follow her lead.
We do 3 tours a day when we're open, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and at least once every weekend someone on the tour says, hey, I'm going to be your next competitor, I want to be the next urban cidery. And I was like, great, you know, that's great. I welcome you, I want you to try and do that, but just understand that it's my job to make it look easy.
Blue Bee has a tasting room in Richmond, but uses apples from trees on leased land in Nelson County to make ciders. Maley says their ciders are made from apples only, pressed and fermented in large bags placed in cardboard containers. The fermenting fruit juice is checked often until it meets with the cider maker's approval.
We crush the apples. Then once we have the juice, it's a white wine making process. So I'm a white wine maker. I just use apples instead of grapes. Some apples will ferment very quickly. They could be done in 2 weeks. We have other apples that just take a long time. So I have one apple right now. I'm pretty sure it's going to take 2 months for it to finish its ferments.
There are as many different varieties of cider as there are apples. Some creative choices at Blue Bee Cidery include the Hop Sap Shandy, which is infused with hops, the Mill Race Bramble with blackberries and raspberries, and the Fanfare with wild mulberries, while the Rocky Ridge Reserve is aged in fruit brandy barrels. For more information on the growing Virginia cider movement, go to virginia.org/cider.